What's going on, guys? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. As you guys read in the title of today's video, I just wanted to go over the top stocks that I'm currently trading, do a quick little trading recap for you guys, as well as go over some other stocks and ETFs that I'm currently watching to end off this week and heading into next week. So before I get into the topic of this video, I wanted to tell all you guys that I made a Twitter account. I've been getting a bunch of requests from a bunch of my YouTube subscribers as well as my Instagram followers to make a Twitter account, and I just wanted to let you all know that it's finally live, and the link is down below in my description. So on that Twitter account, it's going to be mostly stock market investing, trading, YouTube channel updates, news, and stuff like that. It's not going to be anything personal, really. It's not going to be like my Instagram where I post random stuff on my stories. The Twitter is mostly going to be, it's all going to be trading, investing, stock market related. So if you're interested in that, getting daily updates from me on what trades that I'm taking, what stocks I'm watching, and any news that I find compelling in the markets, feel free to follow me on that Twitter account. And again, the link is down below in my description. I would love to have all you guys in that community. And for those of you new viewers out there, my name is Stas, and I make videos dealing with swing trading, day trading, long-term investing, and my personal philosophies and strategies when it comes down to investing and trading in the stock market. So if you find that interesting, if that's something that you want to learn more about, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. And let's get started with the topic of this video. So to get right into the trading recap, you guys saw yesterday that I was trading Run and Gush, and those are the two, active swing trading positions that I'm in. And, Micron as well is one that I've been trading over the past 1 to 2 months, slowly adding more money into that over time. But quickly, let's talk about Run. And for those of you guys that are not familiar with my personal trading strategy, I like looking at uptrending ETFs and stocks that are uptrending over time, right? Which means they're following the EMA, following the SMA, that are at good dip buy opportunities, but are still following that uptrending pattern. So what that pretty much means, guys, is that my favorite indicators in terms of what I use is the EMA line and the SMA indicators. This gives us a great opportunity to view the markets and look at the charts and really understand how the price is moving. So we see that now that the candlesticks are trading above the EMA line, they're trading above the SMA line, right? That means that the stock is on an uptrending pattern. And then if we can look at the candlesticks, we see that they're creating higher highs and they're creating higher lows, which again indicates that the stock is on an uptrending pattern. So this particular stock, right off the bat, guys, from this initial technical analysis, it fits my style of trading, right? And for those of you guys that were watching my recent videos, you saw that I got into Run at about $14.50 with 35 shares. And yesterday I bought in another 35 shares at about $14.72. You could watch yesterday's video. I talked about this there, and there was a screenshot of my order, on that particular video. But now, guys, I did not add more to my position on Run today due to the fact that it has yet to break above this 50-day SMA line. And this is very important, guys, because SMA indicators, they can either act as resistance levels or they can act as support levels. And now that we see, that Run took this dip, of about 15% to about $14. Yeah, it was about like 12 to 15% dip, which is what we look for with my particular strategy of trading, right? And from there, it's slowly been starting to recover. It's slowly starting to peak above the EMA line, which is a very good sign. And we can look at this closer at the 20-day 1-hour chart. We see that, okay, this stock over the past 3 trading days, pretty much all of this week, has been pushing up. And we were talking about this in yesterday's video. Let me actually just delete these drawings really quickly for you guys to get a better trend line drawn here. So, okay, yeah, we see over the past 3 trading days, Run has been pushing up, so it is showing signs of upwards momentum. But what we can notice here, especially on the 20-day chart, and I'll get back to the 180 chart after this, we can see that it's starting to, this 180 SMA is starting to act as a resistance point. We see, it's having trouble to get above it here. It had trouble getting above it yesterday. We opened up really really high. We were opened up green at about $15.15. It got rejected there, pushed down, but the EMA acted as a support, which is a very good sign. Now it's pushing back up to the 180 SMA, and it's slowly starting to curl back down at this particular indication. So I was a little bit, cautious today while trading this particular stock in the terms of, I'm not putting in more money until it breaks above this particular indicator because it has acted as a resistance in the past. Now, if we look back to the 180-day 4-hour chart, we see that it's still trading above or below this 50-day SMA as well, which could act as another, resistance point. So I'm not really comfortable in trading or putting in more money into run until it pushes up, let's say, probably into the 1550s, because at that point it would have solidified the full-on uptrend pattern that we're looking for with my style of trading. So quick recap, guys. I'm in with about 70 shares, very small position in this particular stock with plans on adding more as it breaks above the 180 SMA on the 180-day 4-hour candlestick chart, as well as this 180-day SMA on the 20-day 1-hour chart, right? That's what we're looking at in particular with this stock. Now to quickly look at GUSH, which is another one that I'm actively trading, and this is a longer swing trade position for me. I've actually been in this one for almost 2 weeks now, and it's been moving slowly for those of you guys that have been paying attention with it, but it's pushing up, guys. It's making higher highs, and it's on an uptrending pattern. It's on an uptrending channel right now, and we could look at that from the 90-day 2-hour chart, which is why I am still holding on this particular stock, or this ETF rather, right? It's showing very slow movements, but these movements are pushing the ETF upwards, right? And if we look back over to the 184-hour chart, this is kind of a similar predicament that the previous stock is run, right? In terms of it being close to this 50-day SMA line, and that SMA line acting as a resistance point. So, just like run, right, with GUSH, I'm looking at it very closely in terms of it breaking above this 50-day SMA indicator before I end up adding more money into it. It's very simple, guys. You have to look at these indicators and, use them to your advantage in terms of buying and selling the stocks and ETFs, right? And in this point, we see that it's been on an uptrending pattern over time. It's at a dip buy opportunity, right? And it's not been, continuing to fall down in price, which means it would be, on a downtrending pattern. It's, recovered, it's found its low, and it's slowly been pushing up. And now the last point of resistance that we see is this 50-day SMA indicator. So once it would break above there, guys, that would be a full-fledged on uptrend confirmation, for GUSH. And that's what I'm waiting for in this particular ETF. And for those of you guys that don't know, I'm in it with my bigger account with a smaller position, and I'm also in this particular ETF with my smaller account because I have two different accounts. I made a smaller account of about $800 that I told myself I'm going to slowly grow and prove to myself that I can slowly grow a smaller account with a smaller amount of money. And I'm currently in it with all those $800 in that smaller account, and I'm in with about I forget, like $1,200 in my bigger account, right? And that's what I'm doing with GUSH in terms of how much I'm actually invested in this particular ETF. And I've been talking about this, over the past 2 weeks. You can go look back at the other videos as well. The whole thing with GUSH is that if it breaks above this SMA indicator, I'm thinking it's going to shoot back up to the mid-40s, possibly push the highs of about $47. And, that's the type of potential that I personally see with GUSH. It doesn't mean that you have to see that same potential because we're different investors, we're different traders. That's why you always got to do your own research and do your own due diligence in the stock market in order to create your own opinion. That's what we're going to be looking at with GUSH for the rest of this week. And for those of you guys that don't know, GUSH is an inverse ETF. It's inverse being drip, and pretty much what that means, guys, with inverse ETFs, whenever one is going up in price, the other one's going down in price, and they typically trade based upon commodities. And this particular ETF combo It's a oil and gas based ETF trading based upon XOP, and whenever XOP is going up in price, GUSH is going up in price as well, and whenever XOP is going down, DRIP is going up in price, right? And what we notice with XOP, it's pretty much the same exact chart as GUSH, and this one again, it shows to have bounced on this 180 SMA, and now it's pushing up, and the 50-day SMA is the next resistance point to be broken, and if it does break there, I do see it popping up, and to create higher highs. So that's what I'm currently doing in terms of GUSH and ticker symbol RUN. So now let's talk about some other stocks and ETFs that I'm currently watching to end off this week and heading into next week. And some of these stocks are ones that my subscribers and Instagram followers messaged me, and I would like to thank all you guys out there that messaged me these stocks, and I like them and they fit my personal strategy, and that's why I'm following them and covering them in this particular video. So let's hop right into it. We see the first one here is ticker symbol ELY. And actually, before I get into this, understand that we're in earnings season right now, meaning that companies are reporting their numbers. So a bunch of these stocks, are reporting their earnings, right? We can see that based on this bell right here. So what I want to tell you is pretty much to be very careful before you invest in any of these stocks due to their earnings being very influential on the price, meaning that if the stock or if the earnings are very bad for that company and you didn't understand or you didn't know that they were going to report earnings, that can completely and drastically change the price of the stock, whether it be 5 to 10 to 15% or more at absolute worst case scenario. So understand when these companies are reporting earnings, and any companies out there that you guys are watching and looking to trade, understand when they're reporting their earnings because it can drastically affect the price of the stock. And a bunch of people trade based off of earnings reports. This is something that I usually don't do. I like to wait for a company to report their earnings and see how the market reacts to those earnings before I actually hop into the stock myself. But just to give you guys a quick warning, hopefully that helps all you guys out there. And just be cautious. So right off the bat, we see that Eli is on an uptrending pattern over time, right? It is at a dip buy opportunity. So the first two things we look at are checked off the list, right? It's been uptrending. It's at a dip buy opportunity. We see it bounced on this 180-day SMA line here, meaning that this SMA line is acting as a support level. So we see the bounce there, and we see the little pop above the EMA line, which again is a very good sign. This means that the EMA line is not acting as a resistance level anymore like it was over here, but now it's acting as a support level. And what do we see from here, guys? We see a nice big pop above the 50-day SMA line as well, and then we see the pullback on the EMA line, which further indicates the EMA line as a support level. So we see two bounces on the EMA line, and now we're slowly starting to peak above the 50-day SMA line, which is almost, a full-fledged on confirmation of an uptrend. And I'm going to be watching Eli very closely, guys, and I'm going to be considering putting money into Eli if it does cross up past about 1970, because at that point it's going to be popping up, it's going to be above all the different indicators, and it's going to be pushing up from there, right? And to set an alert very quickly for you guys, because I am going to be watching this one closely, right? And I want Think or Swim to alert me when the price is at or above $19.70. And for those of you guys that don't know how to create an alert, you pretty much just point your cursor to whatever price you want to set the alert at. You do a right click, and then you click create alert. Create alert. There we go. Mark is at or above. You could do at or below, at or above, below, above. But in this case, I want it to notify me when it's at 1970 or above 1970, right? So we do that. The price is at 1970 there, whatever. Okay. Now we click create, and then there we go. We see that it created an alert for me right here at 1970. So I'm going to be watching Eli very closely. Another one that I was going to be watching and that a subscriber shouted out to me was ticker symbol EGAN. Again, this one's on an uptrending pattern over time. It's at a dip buy opportunity from about $19 down to about $12. That was actually a very, very big pullback. So that was 50%, close to a 50% pullback in the stock's price. And from there, we see the bounce on the 180-day SMA line, the slow push above the EMA line, with the EMA line acting as the resistance point. And now we're seeing some strong consolidation around the 50-day SMA indicator. So for this one, I'm going to be setting an alert at about $16 to see if it does end up breaking above $16. Create an alert at or above $16. Perfect, because over the past 2 days, we are seeing some consolidation around here, which could mean that this 50-day SMA is acting as a resistance point, which is obviously something that we wouldn't want to invest in, because if it starts to push back down this way, this is not, EGAN won't be one that fits my particular, swing trading strategy. So again, if it breaks above here and starts to push back up into the 16s, I'm going to be very heavily interested in this particular stock as a swing trade. So that's just a quick little recap on ticker symbol EGAN. So another one worth talking about is ticker symbol WTW, and this is another one that one of my Instagram followers messaged me about. It was either today or yesterday, and right off the bat, guys, we see that WTW is on an uptrending pattern over time. It's been actually killing it. It was at $42 a couple of months ago. Wow, this stock is actually killing it. So it almost doubled its stock price in a matter of like 6 months, which is absolutely insane, right? It's on an uptrending pattern. It's riding the EMA line. The 180 SMA line pretty much has been acting as a support level. It dipped a little bit below here, but then it ended up shooting back up, bounced here again, right? That's one bounce, two bounces. So, it's been creating higher highs and higher lows, which is a very good sign. And then from 105, we saw that big bull run from about 74 up to 105, and now we see the nice healthy pullback from 105 down to about $92, which ended up being a 15% dip buy. So in terms of my strategy, in terms of, buying into stocks that are at dip buys that are still on uptrending patterns, this one, scans out across the board, right? And now we're seeing it slowly start to consolidate at about $91, $92, right? And that's a good sign that, this stock could have found its bottom, right? Its bottom could be around $92 since it's been consolidating there for the past 10 days, right? It hit lows of about 89, and it's actually slowly been pushing up. So, all signs are showing that Weight Watchers stock, is consolidating at about $92. And what we notice on the 180 chart with WTW is that it's consolidating right above the 180-day SMA line. So now what I'm going to be looking at very closely, guys, whether Weight Watchers stock is going to get rejected by this 50-day SMA line and continue a downtrending pattern, or if it's going to bounce on the 180-day SMA line, start to push up above the 50-day SMA line as well, and, start to form an uptrending pattern. But from now, what we can see from the chart and what the technical analysis is telling us is that, WTW is kind of in this middle ground between the 50-day SMA line and between the 180-day SMA line. So only time will tell, where the price is going to go. But let's say it starts to push up, it breaks above the 50-day SMA indicator. This one could be one worth looking at in terms of a swing trade. So that's why I'm going to be setting an alert right at about, let's say, I want it to alert me if it crosses $95. So let's create a quick little alert at $95. Mark at or above 95. Boom. So now if Weight Watchers pushes up, it's going to notify me, and that's right around the 50-day SMA indicator. So that's going to be something worth watching in terms of WTW. And now let's look over to Micron very quickly, ticker symbol MU. This stock, guys, has been downtrending over the past couple of days, and I'm not sure what's going on. I guess there's tensions amongst the Chinese markets right now. Investors are scared, which is pushing down the price of Micron, but I just completely love this company over time. I'm a long-term believer in this company, so lower prices in this stock is just meaning more buying opportunities for me. But looking at it quickly in terms of a technical analysis, what we do notice over the past, let's say, month, we see that it was on an uptrending pattern here. Clearly, it got rejected by this 180-day EMA line or 180-day SMA line. We see a clear rejection here and a pull down, and a downwards pattern here with the EMA line acting as a resistance point. And again today, guys, it got rejected by this EMA line, and it's down even more after market hours now. Actually, it shot up a little bit, and now it's down even more. So yeah, guys, that EMA line, again, is confirming the downtrending pattern on Micron right now. And, I wouldn't really touch Micron if you're looking to trade it. Again, trading and investing is different. If you're looking to short-term trade Micron, I would wait until a break above this EMA indicator, because the EMA indicator has been acting as a strong resistance level on Micron, right? It's very different if you're looking to trade it and if you're looking to invest it. A long-term investor would see any dip buy opportunity as a good buying point if you believe in the company long-term. But if we're focused on short-term swing trading, right, we got to look at the technicals. We got to look at how the price is moving. So we see the rejection here, and it's on a downtrending pattern, and I really wouldn't touch it unless it pushes back up, breaks above the EMA line, and and starts to push up towards the 180-day SMA line. And even at that point, the SMA line has acted as a resistance point in the past, like I said. So even if it broke above the EMA line, I would be very cautious to see if this line here, the yellow line, will act again as a resistance point, or if it would break above it and start to push up. But you can see, guys, Micron is looking good over time. It is at a dip buy opportunity. Waiting for the break above the EMA line is key here if you're looking to trade Micron. So now another one that one of my subscribers commented on my video about yesterday was ticker symbol DRV, and this is a real estate investment trust bear ETF, and the inverse to this one is DRN, and I actually talked about this one in one of my previous videos. But what I don't like about these two ETFs right off the bat, guys, is the very low volume that they show. We see that DRN has about 26,000, DRV has about 48,000. So the volume is really not there for these particular ETFs, but I'll still go over what my personal opinion is on DRV very quickly for you guys. And what it trades based upon is MSCI, I believe? MSCI. Let's check that out. MSCI, I think that's what it was. No, that's not what it is. Crap. What's the index? I'll be right back for you guys. I'll be right back. So the index for DRV is RMZ. So pretty much whenever this index is going up in price, DRV is going down in price, right? But whenever the index is going down in price, DRV is going up in price. So I'm actually glad that my subscriber shouted this one out to me, because this stock, this index itself, seems to be, it seems to be on an uptrending pattern, but it seems to be getting rejected by this EMA line right here, where there's no real pushback above the EMA line in order for this one to continue the uptrending pattern. So this one actually, guys, could be getting rejected in terms of it, it starting to downtrend due to the EMA line and due to this SMA indicator right here acting as a resistance point. And again, whenever RMZ is going down in price, DRV, what's DRV doing? It's going up in price. So we see, as RMZ, let me add this to my watch list really quickly to make it easier. So you see that as RMZ is getting rejected by the EMA line and starting to push down, what we notice on DRV is that DRV is slowly starting to push above the EMA line and above the 50-day SMA indicator. But, with bear ETFs, guys, you got to be very careful in terms of them being downtrending over time. What we notice here is that it's downtrending here. Obviously, you had this big shoot up, right? this big shoot up to about $15, but from there it's continuously been downtrending over time, with the EMA line acting as a resistance, with the SMA acting as a resistance. And typically I stay away from bear ETFs, and I don't really trade them a lot because I've gotten burned in the past back when I first started trading. And since then I pretty much learned my lesson and slowly started to steer away from these. But again, this one could have potential if RMZ continues the downtrending pattern that it's on from it being rejected by this EMA indicator. But again, only time will tell because it's only been about 2 trading days since it's gotten rejected by the EMA line. So this one could, for all we know, continue to push up. But, right now it's looking like the EMA is acting as a resistance, and we can only wait to, in order for the market to tell its story, to tell us, where this price is going. So again, guys, make sure to do your own research when it comes down to investing and trading in the stock market, because that's the only way you're going to become a self-sufficient trader over time. And I hope you guys enjoyed this particular video. If you did, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, the link is down below in my description, as well as my Twitter account. I just made that Twitter account, so give me a follow, get my followers up. Let's see how many we can get to. I don't know how many of you guys actually use Twitter, but a good amount of you have been requesting me to make that account. So I finally made that account. And I'm just really trying to spread my community over a bunch of different social media platforms. The Facebook page is coming soon. I'm working on a name, guys. I really don't have the name down pat on what I want the page to be called. So that's why I'm holding off on that. But for now, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you found some value in this video, again, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Let's make some money today, guys, and peace.